Hi, my name's Ryan Casey Bryce. I'm a confessional poet and spoken word performer writing about disability, trauma and illness. Originally, poetry to me has just been a way to deal with what I'm considering and what I'm thinking about in my life, what's happened to me, and it's a way to process events. Then someone asked me to write a book, and that someone was the head of Femme Social Press, and that was very kind of them. So I took a lot of the poems that I'd just written to survive and put them in some sort of conceivable order. There wasn't a huge dream that came to me in the night where it came fully formed. It took shape very late on in the process. I mean, form can be used to pressure myself to make artistic decisions that I wouldn't otherwise. If I'm writing a sonnet, then I will be pressured by the form itself to use words of a certain syllable count and certain words to adhere to a rhyme scheme. And sometimes I need that pressure in order to hammer something down. Otherwise it exists too freely and I can't make sense of it. So forcing myself to write in a certain form can often just aid me to get it done. But then free form, sometimes you just got to put words on paper and care less about what it sounds like and what it looks like, but care that you're writing them down. When religious texts speak of afterlives, it's often to say that there is a life after this life, and the life after this life is as impactful and as equal as the thing before it. I say after death because I think the impact that the death had on me. In the poem before, I say that I did not die in the car crash, I died in the bed afterwards. It was a mental death, it was a death of perspective and a opening door of brand new ones that all felt very fresh and scary. So I am living in the after death, and that's why the poetry collection is called that. Writing is always cathartic to me. As a confessional poet, I write to understand the events that have happened to me by dressing them up in enough metaphor that they seem like something else, so I can relate to them. And I'm always a deeply personal person. I tend to be very transparent, just generally. So it makes sense that the words in this collection paint me very nakedly. I mean, I'm naked on the cover, so why wouldn't I be naked on the inside? Poetry, I think in its essence, is always a personal exploration of whatever you are writing about, whether it be the person yourself or anything else. I can look at the trees that are around us and I will see them in a certain way and I can write about them from my experience of looking at that tree. But I cannot write it about the experience that someone else has looking at that tree, because I am not someone else, I am me. So all art is deeply personal because it is that person's view of the world reproduced in a certain way to communicate the idea that they want to communicate. So it has to be personal. It's always personal. 8 days in hospital, 2.5 weeks bedridden, 2.5 months off work. Going from living a perfectly normal life when it comes to physical health. I mean, I'm still mentally disabled. And then moving that to having 3 months where you're not sure if recovery is possible and full recovery is possible. It changes a lot of your perspectives. This book exists as a diary. It's personal enough, and it's a diary of healing. It is a diary of growth, but it is also a diary of grave mistakes. And it's good to have that immortalised. I think it's very freeing to know that this part is now done, and now I get to move. I don't feel afraid to be transparent. I don't think I ever have. I've always been of the philosophy that sharing the deepest parts with you will make the world better, because in return the world will show you the deepest parts of it. So no, it's not scary. I wrote it because I'm ready for it. For the book cover, I wanted to highlight one of my areas of self-concern and self-awareness, the very large scar running down my stomach. And I wanted it to be this kind of declaration of like, look, I'm disfigured, based on a car accident. Because wounds are helpful to show in a transparent sense. The chief comment that came back was that I was in quite good physical condition, which I don't think is the case at all, but there we are, I'll take what I can get. And the photographer that I worked with, Wendy Barkova, she had this beautiful idea of involving a sort of Greek mythology image into it, which was a lovely, lovely idea, and I'm very, very glad she suggested it, because it went really well. I hope readers take away that there is strength in transparency, and that there is always life after even the most traumatic of events. After Death is out now with Femme Social Press by Ryan Casey Bryce. I hope you like it, and I hope it reminds you that it rains sometimes.